Y'all the main ones I'm watching on my throne. Created everything, but I called you my own. That land I gave you, put my name on it, my home. Yeah, that's my home. Israel, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. I made a promise, can't nobody take it. I chose to put you above all the nations. Out of your graves, I chose to awaken. We made a covenant, don't you forsake it. Come get protected while they going crazy. Israel, my firstborn, my baby. Israel, my firstborn, my baby. I woke you up in your land of captivity. I do not change, I want you to remember me. Laws and commandments, I gave you the remedy. Go read the testimonies for your memory. I sent them prophets, but you wasn't hearing me. I come to you if you really come near to me. I heard your cry, now it's time to take it to me. I'm the one got you from all of your enemies. Who you know open the sea. The waters was bitter, but I made it sweet. In case you ain't know how to swim, I'm your protector, so I made you walk on your feet. This a reminder you married to me. I just want you to be all I called you to be. They called you niggas, but I made you priests. I'm about to give you back everything. I'm sending plays for you. I'm sending boys, drying up rivers. I leave them dead for you. Tell Pharaoh, let my people go. You heard what I said for you. Tell Pharaoh, let my people go. You heard what I said for you. For you only ever know. Y'all the main ones I'm watching on my throne. Created everything, but I called you my own. That land I gave you, put my name on it, my home. Yeah, that's my home. Israel. I'm the reason you in captivity. We made a covenant, you ain't remember me. You broke the covenant, I sent your enemy. Get out my land since you wasn't fearing me. I'm the reason they put you in chains. I'm the reason they switched up your name. I'm the reason why you in the hood. I'm the reason of all your pain. I'm sending floors, facts, daily. Think I don't love you. Y'all my babies, gave my son. Must be crazy. Come out that system, come out of that land. They got that military, it would not phase me. It would not move me, it would not graze me. Remember Egypt, I did all that for my people. You only ever know. Y'all the main ones I'm watching on my throne. Created everything, but I called you my own. That land I gave you, put my name on it, my home. Yeah, that's my home. You only ever know. Y'all the main ones I'm watching on my throne. Created everything, but I called you my own. That land I gave you, put my name on it, my home. Yeah, that's my home. Israel.
Good morning, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. YouTube, good afternoon. Facebook Live, good afternoon, good afternoon. How's everybody doing this morning? This afternoon, how everybody doing? I hope your week has been a great week. I hope the Most High have really truly blessed you over and abundantly with love, kindness, and joy. I hope the Most High really truly have blessed you and your offsprings with wisdom and knowledge and understanding. I hope the Most High really have truly blessed you over and abundantly with love, kindness, and peace. I hope you got all the overtime that you want on your job, on the job that you work at. And I hope He gave you the amount of money that you need to take care of your household for this week. And for many more weeks to come. I hope He really truly has. My week has been an okay week. I can't really complain too much. But it was a very sad but eye-opening moment for me. And I'm going to talk about it today. But it's really sad. How people are in the world today. But let us go ahead and get started this morning on Exodus chapter 20 verses 1 through 17, and it reads, And I spake out these words, saying, I am Yahuwah thy Anani, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. And thou shalt have no other Ananias before me, and thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah, thy Anani, am a jealous Anani, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah thy Anani in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah thy Anani. In it thou shalt not do any works, thou, nor thy sons, nor thy daughter, thy manservants, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the Sabbath day. Wherefore, if Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy day be long upon the land which Yahuwah thy Adonai giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, and thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's house, and thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservants, nor his maidservants, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything is thy neighbor's. So let us pray this morning. O creators of the heavens and earth, of all radiance and vibrations, soften the grounds of our beings and carve out a space within us where your presence can abide. Fill us with your creativity so that we may be empowered to bear fruit of our missions. Let each of our actions bear fruit in accordance with our desires within your purpose for our life. Restore us with the wisdom of produce. Share what each being needs to grow and flourish. Untie the tangled thread of destiny that binds us as we release others from the entanglement of the past mistakes. Do not let us be seduced by that which distracts us from our true purpose, but illuminate the opportunities of present moments. For you are the ground and the fruitful vision, the creator and power and fulfillment. As all is gathered and made whole once again, so let it be. Good morning, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, everybody, good afternoon. I hope the Most High really have truly blessed you over and abundantly with love, kindness, and joy. Bless you. Barak you. Turn to Isaiah chapter 30 for me, please. Isaiah chapter 30, verses 8 through 17. Isaiah 8 through 17, and the key verse is verse 10. The key verse is verse 10, and it reads, which say to the seer, seer means prophet. Isaiah would consider to be a seer or prophet. It says, which say to the seer, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things. Prophesy deceit. Let me read it over. Which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things. Prophesy deceit. If I may give a title of the text this morning, the title of the text this morning is You Can't Handle the Truth. You can't handle the truth. The word deceit is a 13th century word. It means trickery, lying. It means the misleading of a person, the leading of another person to believe in what is false or not to believe what is true. Deceit means delusion. Rebellious. Rebellious means renouncing the authority and dominance, dominant of the government to which allegiance is due. treacherous resisting government or lawful authorities. Defying lawful authority. Basically, rebellious means to defying lawful authorities. Okay. So this is very heavy this morning because this week I was at work, right? And I was talking to some of the guys at work about the debate. And I watched it. And one of the guys that I was talking to, he said, I don't listen to Trump because he sounds stupid. He sounds stupid. He talks as if he's illiterate. And then he said, but Kamala Harris is more articulate. And he said because she's more articulate in her conversations, I am prone to listen to her more than I am Donald Trump. He said, regardless of if Kamala Harris is telling me the truth, I am apt to listen to her more than I am Donald Trump, because Kamala Harris sounds like she's more educated than Donald Trump. And that blew my mind. That blew my mind. And the reason why it blew my mind is because Obama was an articulate person, a president, but he did nothing for the black community. He brought in LGBT community. He allowed them to become legal, get legal rights. He allowed them to become married up under his presidency. But also up under the Obamacare, the microchip, the nanoparticle or the microchip is in the Obamacare. Then also, if you didn't get Obamacare, you would be penalized for not having health care because you are given an opportunity to have health care, but you didn't get, and if you didn't get it, you got penalized for it. But when you look back at Obama, he dropped more bombs than anybody else, and I told y'all this last week. He dropped more bombs on anybody, any country out here than any other president in history. But because he can articulate or communicate very well, we was more prone to listen to him and believe him, even though he was telling us a whole bunch of lies and hope messages. And that may be the same reason why people don't listen to me or like me, is because I may not be a smooth sayer or a very articulate person that can communicate to be able to make something sound good to your ears. But Obama didn't do nothing but hinder the black community or the Hebrew community. Obama is considered to be an immigrant who became president of the United States of America. Kamala Harris is considered to be an immigrant legally on paper because she wasn't born here in the United States. And she's considered to be an immigrant, and she's running for president. And she's been telling you a lot of different things. And the sad part about it is that people love to daydream and have a hope feeling when their reality is not that. The reality is what it is. It's a desolate state sometimes. But people don't want to look at the desolate state and deal with it as what it is. They want to continue to stay in a daydream or a hope state. And when I was listening to Kamala Harris, you cannot say that if you are a Christian, you cannot say that you are a Christian and you're going to vote for Kamala Harris. You cannot say that. Because all the things that Kamala Harris is pushing goes against the Bible.
Break it down, all right.
So when we look at the book of Isaiah, the book of Isaiah, it was right before, it was right after the northern southern tribe had separated. The 10 tribes went north, the Judah and the other 2 tribes went south. But it was right before the Assyrians was getting ready to attack the northern tribe and then also take on the southern tribe. But during this time here, the children of Israel, during their time of troubles, during the times of tribulations, the children of Israel wanted to go to Egypt to be able to ask the Egyptians for help to fight against the Assyrians. But understand that the Egyptians are the same people who imprisoned them for 265 years. So when they was in Egypt for 200 plus, they was in Egyptian for 430 years, but they probably was only enslaved for about 200 and something years. I can't give the exact number, but they was only enslaved for 200 and something years. But the children of Israel wanted to go back to the same people who was oppressing them and help them, ask them to help them fight the Assyrians. Understand that. You're going back to the same people to help you
Well, you currently are.
when they were the people who enslaved you, but you're going back to the same people who enslaved you, and now you're asking those people to come with you to help you go fight a group of people, another group of people. How can we, as African American people, go as European people to go help us fight something, go fight somebody else, when Europeans or this United States of America enslaved us for over 200 something years or 400 years? What thought process should a man have is to go ask his oppressor to go fight somebody, to help him fight somebody else? What mind frame, what kind of state of being should that person be? What kind of mental capacity does this person have when he's asking his oppressor to help, asking the oppressor to ask him to go help him fight another group of people? What mind frame and what state is that person? What thinking or what thinking capacity do you have to go ask your oppressor to go help you fight somebody else? Then expect for you to be able to win the war from the people. And see, that was so hardening to me this morning because we're in that state. We're in that situation. We are in those conditions We're asking people to help us who have been shooting, killing, hanging, robbing, beating us in the street every day. We're asking those same people to help us out of our condition. And that is the sad reality for me to deal with today, is because the simple fact is, okay, let me go somewhere real fast. In Genesis chapter 1, I think it is. Go to Genesis chapter 2. Go to Genesis chapter 2, verse 2. Go to Genesis chapter 2, verse 2. Because everything else, your future depends on you. Your future don't depends on no one else but you and your relationship with the divine spirit or the Most High himself, itself. It says in Genesis chapter 2 verse 2, it says, and on the seventh day Adonai ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his works which he had made. And Adonai blessed the Sabbath day and sanctified it, because that in it he rested from all his work which Adonai created and made. In saying that, the Most High is not doing any more work that needs to be done. Everything else that needs to be done and has been done and will be done, it will be done from man and not from Adonai himself. Why should the president of the company come down and work in a warehouse when he got warehouse workers to do the work that he needs to be done? So, me saying that, why do Adonai need to come down and do work on the earth when he has his creation that could do the work that he needs done? So everything from this point forward is based on you and your relationship with the Great Spirit or Adonai himself. He's not going to come down here and do any work that needs to be done, because he have you as a worker to do the work. And see, that's the thing about it. Churches and these camps and all these people that be online does not tell you the truth about that. Your only freedom is going to come when you stand up and do the work that needs to be done. Your freedom is not going to come from anything else but you aligning yourself up with the Word and you doing the work that the Word has told you to do. But because you have been given this hope messages, you're still waiting on something that he gave you. The Spirit gave you the abilities to do. Everything that you want to get done in your life is already in you to do it. It's just up to you to do the work. Adonai did not come down here and help Martin Luther King in the Montgomery bus boycott. Those people had the strength, those people had the abilities, our ancestors had the willpower to do the work to get it done. And they got it done. Everything that they wanted done, they did the work to do it. They did not depend on Adonai. Adonai gave them the strength and the abilities to do it. And once they connected to their strength and their abilities to do it, it was accomplished because they was doing the right thing. And that's why I have a lot of issues with these camps. I have a lot of issues with these churches. I have a lot of issues with people who's out here teaching the word because they're not telling you. It's up to you to get it done by following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Yes, once you start following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, you will start to do His will. And once you start to do His will, everything else will come into play. But you can't just sit back and say, oh, I'm going to wait on the Lord. No. Everything that you see now that has been created on this earth has been created by man. Because the Most High have given him or her the skills and ability to create something. Now the Hashatan may have caused them to do it from an evil perspective, but the Most High gave them the abilities to create. And whatever they created, however they used it, shows you where they came from. The Hashatan, which is the devil, the adverse, the adversary, or where they came from the Most High. But everything that you want done, it is in you to do it. Not from anything else. Because the Most High said He's done all His work. He's created everything He needs to create, so He don't need to do nothing else. So now, when we're looking at Isaiah chapter 30, Assyria is about to conquer Jerusalem, or conquer Israel. But Israel is going to the Egyptians who oppressed them for help. But Israel never went to Ananias himself or the Great Spirit for help. Now, how many of us as African American people, black people, or Hebrew people, or Gentiles who's listening, have really just went to the Most High and asked Him, what should they be doing at this time right now? Should I be listening to this wicked government who have caused me to do different things and go through different things so that I could be successful? Or did you go to Ananias and get on your knees and fast and pray to see what Ananias wants you to do and who you want to vote for? Because I'm going to say something to you. Kamala Harris is promoting women's rights for her body. Women's rights for the body. That's what Kamala Harris is promoting. Okay? And I can understand if you got to have an abortion, if you have an abortion because of sex, you was rape, incest, or death to the physical body. I can understand those three. But just casually getting an abortion because you want to have an abortion because you was laying down with somebody who you didn't really like and you wanted to have an abortion, I don't agree with that. Do you know that African American women have the highest percentage of abortions throughout all nationalities of people? It says in the Gut Meacher, website is GUTTMACHER. I might have mispronounced it. It says the abortion rate continues to vary by race and ethnicities. The lack of access to health insurance and health care plays a role, as do racism and discrimination. Abortion per 1,000 women aged 15 to 44. It says that African American women is 27.1% likely to have an abortion. 27% of the amount of people that have had an abortion is African American women. 18.1% is Hispanics. 16.3% is non-Hispanics and others. 10% is white and non-Hispanic people. So when you're looking at the abortion rate, and she called herself a woman of color, she should be pushing not to have an abortion, because the simple fact is it affects people of color or black people more than it affects any other nationality or ethnicity out here. But when we're listening to Kamala Harris, we're liking her viewpoints because the simple fact is she's telling us something smooth, or she can articulate her message to us to make her think that she's telling the truth, when she's actually, we are going to our oppressors to ask her to help us, because she's a part of the system that has been oppressing us for a long period of time. 27.1% of all abortions comes from African American women. Okay? When we're talking about U.S. militaries, they asked Donald Trump, they said, Donald Trump, what do you think that Ukraine should win the war? Donald Trump said, I want the war to stop. But Kamala Harris said that she's going to support Ukraine and they want to defeat Russia. And most people who's thinking about voting for Kamala Harris is not thinking about the military soldiers that's going over there in war. Not just over in Ukraine, but also over there in Israel, fighting those wars. It says over 7,000 U.S. service members have died in the post 9/11 war zone of Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and elsewhere. Okay, we're not thinking about how many people would die in this war that is going on over there in the Middle East. But that is death. We're not thinking about that. We're not thinking about how many people would die in these wars if Kamala Harris becomes president. It also says that in the TAC purpose post, it says 50 Americans have died in Ukraine since the Russian invasion. Nearly 40 of the Americans killed in Ukraine are U.S. veterans. This came out on February 8, 2024. Donald Trump said that I want to stop the war over in Ukraine, but Kamala Harris said that she's going to continue to support Ukraine, and if they got to send more troops over to Ukraine, they will. And understand that somebody who's listening to me may have a son of military age. They have already initiated the draft for 18 to 26 years old, or 18 to 24. So your sons or your daughters could be drafted to go into war against Russia. But you're not thinking about the fact that these are facts and these things are right in front of us. You're looking at how she's saying whatever she's saying to us. The message that she's giving to us, you're listening to how good we can receive it, not the impact on people's lives. Because I have friends, I got a nephew who's in the United States military, who's a drill sergeant, who's been in that 8 years. He understands that the military is racist. But he's in there now, but he did not understand it from the very beginning when I was trying to convince him not to go into the military. But now he's in, and he understands it. But not even the part of racism, even the part of him having to go to war. If you vote for Kamala Harris, you can bet your bottom dollar. If you have a son or nephew or niece that is in the military, they will be going to war and have a high percentage of death. That's something we're not looking at. Also, when we're talking about the inflation, it says in 2021 we had a 7% inflation rate. Kamala Harris said that she's gonna give the people $6,000 for child tax credit. She's gonna give them abilities to get $150,000 for first-time home buyers, and she's gonna give new business owners $50,000 to be able to start up a new business. All that is for immigrants. That's not for you as Black Americans. All of that is for you. All of that is for immigrants that's coming into the country. That is not for U.S. citizens or second-class citizens, which African American people are. You are second-class citizens in the United States of America. So these programs and these things that Kamala Harris is going to give out is only going to be for immigrants that's coming into the country. We don't have no housing shortage. It's the banks are controlling how many houses are on the market at a specific time so that they could be able to control the volume or the amount of money that a house is worth when it goes on the market. The less houses on the market, the more the houses are, how expensive the house is. But the more houses on the market, it drives down the price of the house. It calls supply and demand. The rate of food cost product, the inflation on the food products today is greater than it was when Donald Trump was in office. And I'm not saying I voted for Donald Trump because I'm not voting, period. But what I'm saying to you is, for those who listen to these people and they like to hear smooth sayings, the people who's giving you smooth sayings are just telling you a whole bunch of lies. Let me go to one more and then I get started. Because I'm saying, okay, people still don't want to hear about racism. You don't want to still hear about racism. Racism is very prevalent in the United States, in the justice system, in policing here in America. You cannot be a police officer and go against racism because police is based on racism. Policing in the Black community is based on racism. That's why Stop and Frisk came about. Policing is based on racism. Policing the Black community. Where do you think policing came from? It came from the slave catchers back in the days and it's doing slavery. So if you do not think that racism is still in existence today, you're crazy. And I'm trying to talk as smooth saying as I possibly can so that you can digest my word and believe what I'm saying. Because I know some of you don't want to hear the truth. And you don't want to deal with the reality of what it is. It was a 21-year-old kid got caught in Henderson, North Carolina, a couple of days ago, was hanging in a tree. Was hung in a tree in Henderson, North Carolina, and the police sheriff and the sheriff officer in Henderson, North Carolina said, oh, it was his fault. He did it. This was a guy from Chicago, Illinois, coming down there as a truck driver to make a delivery, and then you found out that this boy was hanging on a tree. 21 years old, just trying to do good for himself and trying to live a life. But you don't want to realize that Donald Trump is giving you the facts. I don't like the guy. All the presidents have been racist. Joe Biden said he didn't want his kids hanging out with your black kids. He didn't want his kids going to school with your kids. Kamala Harris said she ain't gonna do nothing for black folks. Research it. So these people are not for you, but you don't want to face the fact that racism exists, and you don't want to deal with the racism because of the simple fact that it's too real for you. It's too honest for you. And that's what this story is about. That's what the teaching is about today. But all the issues I just told you about, because it's also, I typed out how many people have been found hanging in a tree in the last 4 years. Did 5 black men found hanging dead from a tree die? That was in 2020. That was in 2020. 5 black and brown men have been recently found hung. Okay, list of people died. Okay, people was in California dead, hanging from a tree. Police say death of black people by hanging are suicide. The police department is not going to tell you that they are lynching people. But you don't want to realize the fact that these things are true. And you don't want to do nothing about it because you're so docile in these situations and say, oh, the Lord going to take care. The Lord ain't going to do nothing. He's done his work. Now he's waiting on you to do your part. He's waiting on you to do your part so his word can be fulfilled. Do you think the countries over there in Africa, Burkina Faso, they're waiting on the Most High to come in? No, they're going to do the right thing for themselves, and the Most High will intervene and help them. The countries that are pushing France and the United States out of their countries, that's based on their authority and what they're lining themselves up with the Most High. They're not continuing to say, I'm going to sit back and wait on the Lord. No, they're doing it for themselves. And the Most High is blessing them because they're doing the right thing at the right time. They're not doing nothing malice to the other nations. They're just saying that we want to do something for ourselves at this point in time. We don't need your help no more, France. We don't need your help no more, United States. Get out of our country. And with the will of the Most High is helping them push them out of their country. And that is the reality of it. When you keep saying, I'm going to wait on the Most High said, well, I'm waiting on you. I already created the atmosphere for you. Now I'm waiting on you to do something so I can support you and back you and bless you. You're going to ask people to help you who've been oppressing you for the last 400 years. How stupid are you? You asking people to pass laws that help you kill your own people. You are denying the fact that hanging and lynching is still here to this day. But you say, I'm waiting on the Lord. And the Lord is saying, I'm waiting on you. You have been released since 2019. But you want to go to somebody else, and that's what this story is all about. That's what today's teachings is all about. You want to hear a smooth sayer tell you a bunch of deceit and lying when the Most High said, I'm here waiting on you. What you going to do? That's what this teaching is about today. Because in the last days, he's already prophesied that people going to be still wanting to hear some lies. Because the simple fact is they don't want to face their reality. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 30. Verse 8. I just told you we got the highest abortion rate. I just told you that inflation is high. Food is high. Gas is high. I just told you about racism. It's still in existence today. And the Democrat has been in office for the last 3.5 years and have not passed no anti-hate bill crime for black folks. But Asians can get one. The LBGT community can get one. The immigrants can get one. The Asians got a reparation of $4 to $5 million or $20 million. The immigrants getting $15 million in food stamps, $5,000 in financial cash.
15,000, not million.
But you still voting for these people who has not done anything for you? You still look for these people to help you in the midst of your situation? And some people tell me, I'm looking at the integrity. Man, forget about integrity. You don't have no morals because he's not telling you something nice or sweet sense or sweet nothings in your ear. You don't like it because he's talking like he's illiterate, but he's telling you the truth. You don't like him. But when your child, if you have a child or a niece or nephew, they go to Ukraine or they go to Iran and go to war, you can't complain if he come home in a box. Because this is what you voted for.
Or tampons in the boys' bathroom.
Or tampons in the boys' bathroom. Because she's pushing that transgender policy. So you going to the same people who have been oppressing you to help you when the only thing you got to do is follow the law, statute, commandments of the Most High. Verse 8 in chapter 30 in Isaiah. It reads, now go write it down, write it before them in a tablet, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come, forever and ever. Listen to that. The Most High already prophesied that this is going to happen in the future. It happened in the days of Isaiah, and it's happening now. Let me read it to you again and understand it. It says, now go write it before them in a tablet and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come, forever and ever. What's going to be for a time to come? Let me go to 2 verses. Let's go to Numbers chapter 24. Verses 14, because I want us to understand something. The Most High already prophesied that we're going to want to hear some smooth nothings in our ear. We don't want to hear the truth. We just want to continue to hear a bunch of lies. Because that's all we want to hear is a bunch of lies, because the lies make us feel good, because the simple fact is we don't want to face the reality that, I might be overweight. No, I need to exercise. No, I don't read. No, I don't know the Most High like I think I should. We don't want to face that reality. And we get mad at somebody who tell us the truth. In Numbers chapter 24 verse 14 it says, and now behold, I will go unto my people, come here therefore, and I will advertise thee what this people shall do to thy people in the latter days. See, prophecy, biblical prophecy has been in ancient time to present moments. It happened a long time ago and it's happening now. That's what Deuteronomy, the book of Deuteronomy is about. That's what Genesis chapter 15 verse 13 is about. All these is about biblical prophecies about what's going to happen. Okay, what else? We're talking about prophecies. 1 Timothy. I like this one. 1 Timothy 4:1. And it reads, it says, now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times, in the future, some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, and having their conscience seared with a hot iron. Listen to that. Everything that we see today is what was spoken in the Bible a long time ago. Everything that we see today was spoken in the Bible a long time ago. So biblical prophecy is fulfilling itself. Jude chapter 1 verse 8. Verse 8, it's only one chapter. Verse 18. It says, how that they told you there should be mockers in last times, who should walk after their own ungodly lust. How many people are selfish these days, doing what they want to do, how they want to do it, the way they want to do it? See, the way we are today as a people, or a nation, or as a planet, it was already spoken in a long time ago how people would be on the earth. Biblical prophecy was already spoken a long time ago. It's up to us whether we're going to believe it or not. We got to quit saying that the white man wrote the Bible. We got to quit allowing the teacher, the pastor, to teach us. I'm not telling you not to go to church, but you got to sit down and study the word for yourself so that you can get the understanding that the Most High wants you to have. Because we got to quit wanting to hear smooth sayers. We got to stop wanting to hear delusions. Let us go back to Isaiah chapter 30, verse 9. It says, I'm going to go back to verse 8. It says, now go write it before them in a tablet and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever. Listen to that. For a time to come forever and ever. That people will be a certain way. That this is a rebellious generation, lying children, children that will not hear the law of Yahuwah. Hear that. The Most High said it's going to be forever and ever a time to come that we're going to have rebellious people. We'll have people that children that lie and that will not want to hear the law. Now, however you are, whether you fulfill this biblical prophecy or not, however you may be in your life, whether it will let you know that you are part of this prophecy or not, whether you got lying children, whether you are rebellious, or whether you want to hear the law or not. Let's go to verse 10. It says, because these rebellious people, these lying children, and people don't want to hear the law, they'll say this right here to the prophets, which say to the seer, the rebellious people, the lying children, children that will not hear the law of Yahuwah, which say to the seer, see not unto the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit. Deceit means delusions. Tell us lies, mislead us, misguide us. Smooth things are, smooth saying is what? Let me see. Smooth sayings are what? Smooth things are flattery. Tell us something feels good. Tell us something that feels good and tell us some delusions. That's what the people are saying. Tell us something that feels good, some flattery things, and some stuff that's not real. That's what they're saying. And see, what Kamala Harris is telling you is a bunch of stuff that makes you feel good and give you some delusion about your reality. Because we don't want to open up the book and look at the statistics that 27.1% of all abortions are committed by people of color. We don't want to look at the simple fact that 80% of black households are ran by single parent households. We don't want to look at the statistics that only 20% of all black women will get married. We don't want to look at that. We don't want to look at the fact that we got high inflation. We don't want to look at that. We are the last to hire and the first to fire. We don't want to look at the fact that our money circulate in our community only maybe a half an hour. We don't want to look at those facts. But we want to be told lies and deceit and flattery stuff. And wonder why our community is in the same situation. I was glad when Governor Barnes, whoever the governor of Georgia won, because I didn't want a Democrat in office.
Kemp.
I was glad when Kemp won because I didn't want a Democrat in office. Because if you look at the most Democratic states, they are in bad conditions. If you look at most Democratic counties that's ran by cities that's ran by black people, they're in a decapitated state. All these cities that's ran by black people are in bad situations. And I'm not saying it because of bad leadership. I'm saying it because of the simple fact that black people, you got to be careful who pocket your hand is in. Let us go to Jeremiah chapter 14, Jeremiah chapter 6. Because your future is dependent on what you do, what you believe in, how you live and function. Jeremiah chapter 6 verse 13 and 14, it says, "For from the least of them even unto the greatest of them everyone is given to covetousness, and from the prophets even unto the priests everyone deals falsely." That's the truth. Every preacher is lying. If the preacher ain't telling you that the black people in America are the Hebrew Israelite, they lying to you. If they tell you got to go to church on Sunday, not Saturday, they lying to you. If they tell you ain't under the law no more, they lying to you. The reason why they tell you ain't under the law no more, because the simple fact is, the more you continue to not be up under the law, the more you ain't up under nothing. And that's why you go around here hoeing the way you do, and you fall up under judgment. And it says, "They have healed also the hurt of the daughters of my people slightly, saying, peace, peace, when there is no peace." That's what they've been telling us. Oh, things getting better. Oh, things this way. Oh, things that way. No, it ain't. You look back in the 60s and 70s or the 50s and 60s, the 50s and 60s was a whole lot better than it is now. Look at the divorce rate. Look at the households. Let's go to Ezekiel 13, 7 through 10. These people, we want to hear some lies instead of telling us the truth. And that's what I said to you all a long time ago. I'm not voting for Trump, but Donald Trump made you deal with the elephant in the room, and that's what we don't want to deal with. It says in Ezekiel chapter 13 verse 7, it says, "Have ye not seen a vain vision? And have ye not spoken a lying divination? Whereas ye say, Yahuwah said it, albeit I have not spoken. Therefore Yahuwah said, therefore thus saith Yahuwah Anani, because you have spoken vanity and seen lies, therefore behold, I am against you, saith Yahuwah Anani." See, the Most High, he's not with these churches today and these leaderships today because they've been lying. They're leading their people to a burning house. Everything that these leaderships are saying are lies. Why they haven't given us reparations? Because you can't be two continents at the same time. You can't be African American. That's two continents. You can't be two continents at the same time. Which one are you? You don't have no flag. You don't have no landmass. But they're not going to tell you that. When the reason why they call you minority because they're telling you that you need to be led by you because you act like an immature child and you need to be led by leadership. That's what minority means. Look it up in the Black Law Dictionary. Galatians 4:16. Now, some of y'all may not like my message, you may not like my tone. None of y'all giving me tithe, nobody giving me offering. Nobody bought me a dinner, nobody bought me a lunch. Nobody say liking on my views. You don't go on my page and say, I like what you do, Pastor, keep up the good work. So I don't care if you like it or not, I'm going to teach it. Only 2 or 3 people, 4 people may come and tell me that, but other than that, I don't care. I'm trying to get this word out because we are dying at an enormous rate. And I ain't got time to spare your feelings.
Right.
You want me to tell you something? Well, I don't think that's a good idea. No, man, that's burning down now. You go down there, you're going to get killed. You're going to die. I don't get paid from YouTube. I don't have number 78 viewers, 78 members on YouTube. So it don't matter to me. Galatians 4:16. It says, am I therefore become your enemies because I tell you the truth? That's what I want you to realize. Am I your enemy now because I tell you this? I'm telling you this because I love you. I have an agape love for you. I'm telling you this because I want you to understand what you're dealing with. I'm telling you this because the simple fact is, I want us to come out of this mess that we're in. You got 50 and 60-year-old grown men scared to go get a gun and go to the gun range. I got plenty of them on my job. You got 50 and 60-year-old men scared to know how to protect their household. Ain't nothing wrong with shooting a gun, getting gun training. Zimmerman shouldn't have, whatever happened to that young kid down there in Florida and George Zimmerman got away with it, he shouldn't have never got away with it. But because of that, us as black men, we're fearful people. We're scared to stand up. We're scared to fight. We're scared to put a line in the sand. Let us go back to Isaiah 30:11. Now, because you like lying words, you like something that's deceitful, because you want delusional stuff, this is what the Most High said. This is what happened. It says, get you out of the way. Turn aside out of the path. Cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. We don't want the blessings of the Most High because we feel like it's too much work. We got to do too much. So we're telling the people to tell who's telling the truth. Get them our way. Don't do that. Get a cause the Most High to cease from before us. Now this is what the Most High is saying. Wherefore thus said the Holy One of Israel, because you despise this word. Listen to this and I want you to understand something. This is for everybody who may not like my word today. Everybody who may not like my word today. Wherefore thus said the Holy One of Israel, because you despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon. Therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high hill, whose breakings coming suddenly as an instant. And he shall break in, and it shall break it as the breaking of a potter's vessel that is broken in pieces. The Most High said, because you don't want to listen to my word, this Orlando is telling you, Brother Orlando is telling you today, you're going to go through some troubles. You're going to go through some hardships. You're going to go through some issues that you never should have went through. Because you didn't listen, you're going to go through it. You're going to be tortured. Then it says, he shall not spare, and he shall not spare, so that there shall not be found in the bursting of a shred to take fire from the hearth, or to take water withal out of the pit. It says, for thus saith Yahuwah Adonai, the Holy One of Israel, in returning and rest shall ye be saved. In quietness and confidence shall your strength, and ye will not. He said, the Most High said, when you depend on me, you'll have quietness and confidence, and you have strength. He said, but because you did not listen to me, you won't have quietness, confidence, and strength. You're going to be broken to pieces. And I want us to understand something. Hear me when I say this. Hear me when I say this. The reason why the church tell you we're not under the law no more is because the fact is, if you feel like you can do anything that you want to, the Most High will continue to condemn you. If you continue to have abortions, the women who have abortions will be cursed. If you continue to spend outside of your communities, you're going to be broke. You continue to send your child into the military, you're going to see death. If you continue to think that the United States is not racist, and the fraternity of police officers is not built on racism, you're going to continue to be hung on trees. It's over 3,000 sundown cities in the country, in the United States. I just say 2,000. It's over 2,000 cities in the United States still are following sundown towns. And you don't want to deal with your reality. You're going to continue to go through what you're going through. Let us go back to verse 13 for a second. Because biblical prophecy is spoken that we're going to have some people that just want to deal with the lies. Want to deal with the lies. We're going to have consequences that we're going to have to deal with. And that's in verse 13. Verse 13 is talking about consequences, beginning of consequences. The beginning of consequences are those people who don't want to listen to the truth. Consequences of those who don't want to deal with the truth. It says consequences. It says, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall. That means that if it's a wall right here and there's water behind it. And because you don't want to hear the truth, the Most High is going to allow this water to penetrate through the wall and to come on you. So everything that you vote for, the person that you may vote for, is going to bring hardships on you. Going to bring hardships on you. Because you're listening to a bunch of lies. You're dealing with people who's not morally, don't have any moral standards or biblical principles. What you saying, Sharon?
People don't understand. They don't have to vote. They think they have to vote.
Say that out loud.
I said, but people don't understand they do not have to vote. I hear people saying they don't have a choice. So if you understood biblically about voting, you have to explain that.
Okay. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 15. Okay. I want to deal with this for a second because my wife said we need to deal with this, right? Okay, it says, Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 14 and 15. It says, when thou art come unto the land which Jehovah thy Adonai giveth thee, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom Yahuwah thy Adonai shall choose. One from among thy brethren shall thou set king over thee. Thou may not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. But he shall not multiply his horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt, to the end that should multiply horses, for much as Yahuwah has said unto you, ye shall henceforth return no more that way. Okay. For those who know you're Israel, and for those who are straddling the fence, who call themselves American citizens, if you're black or Hebrew, no other nation should be ruling over you. So when you are voting for someone to rule over you, you are going against the commandments of God. It is not biblical that you set a stranger over you, because Kamala Harris is an immigrant who is from India. She's not a Hebrew. So that is one. Donald Trump, when he comes into office, if he comes to office, it is against biblical laws that you allow him to rule over you, because he's not a Hebrew. Because it says at the end of 17 and 15, I'm going to read it over. It says, thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom Yahuwah thy Adonai shall choose. You got to allow the Most High to choose your leadership, not man. Then it says, one from among thy brethren shall thou set king over thee. One from among thy brethren shall thou set king over thee. See, and also the leadership should be a man and not a woman. Leadership should be a man and not a woman. Then it says, Thou may not set a stranger over thee. Kamala is a stranger, and Donald is a stranger. What now? Go ahead.
Nothing, go ahead.
Donald is a stranger, and Kamala is a stranger, which is not thy brethrens. They're not your relatives. They don't have good intentions for you. So when you are voting for these people are strangers, and what they really want to do. The word Egypt in verse 17. Let's go to verse 17. And it said, but he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause people to return to Egypt. The word Egypt in that form means bondage. Bondage. But when we look at everything that is going on in the world, we're in bondage. They're taking us back into bondage. So that is the reason why the Most High don't want us to be able to vote for these people and put them over us, because they don't have good intentions for us. Because when Kamala Harris became vice president, when Joe Biden won, she gave over $100 million to India in her first day in office. Understand that. So now, what do you expect for her to do when they own all the gas stations and the hotels? It's going to continue to grow. You'll be left out. You can't even get reparations. You can't even get a hate crime bill. But these same people who's denying you a hate crime bill or reparations, these are the same people that you're putting over you in office. These are the same people you're putting in office. So do you have to vote? No, you ain't got to vote. Your people didn't die to vote. They died because they voted. And don't let nobody tell you that. They died because they voted, not because they wanted to vote. They died because they voted. It's a big difference. It's a huge difference. Let us go to Psalm 62 and 3. And I want to read you something. How long will ye imagine mischief against a man? Ye shall be slain, all of you. Listen to that. Because you're going to vote for Kamala. If we go to World War III, and if you know somebody, your child will be slain. That person will be slain during that war. Because they said if we go to World War III, they're expecting 1,500 people to die on a daily basis in the war. Okay, it says, how long will ye imagine mischief against a man? Ye shall be slain, all of you. As a bowing wall shall ye be, and a totter of fence. Meaning that you will be destroyed because you continue. The consequences of continuing to believe a lie brings on detrimental consequences. He using this analogy is because of the times that was written in. But the more you believe people who lie to you, the more you're setting yourself up for failure. That's the consequences of believing a lie. Let us go to Luke. Luke chapter 6, verse 49. I'm going to read 48 and 49. Then I'm going to read you something. It says, he is like a man which builds an house and dig deep and laid a foundation on a rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently upon that house and could not shake it, for it was found upon a rock. Listen to that. When your belief system is founded upon the Ruach HaKodesh, you won't be shaken when you're getting ready to go through things. Okay, verse. But he that heareth and do not is like a man that without a foundation build an house upon the earth, against which the stream did beat vehemently, and immediately it fell, and the ruins of that house was great. See, when you build your house, when you live your life built on lies, it's going to always fall and crumble. But when you build your house upon the truth, on the realities, on what it is, you can be able to deal with life so much better. This is what I want to read a little bit of. The Africans who wrote the Bible, on page 171. And it's talking about the Catholic Church and the transatlantic slave trade. Again, Western historians have told the story of the transatlantic slave trade as if it had nothing to do with Christianity or the Catholic Church. Listen to that. If the Catholic Church as the most powerful political, social, economic, and spiritual institution of Europe did not legitimize the slave trade, this unconceivable trade in humans could not have gone on for centuries. It would have died as soon as it started. Initially, Europeans' enslavement of the Africans was centered in Europe. Here is the involvement of the Catholic Church in the Atlantic slave trade that brought millions of Africans into the plantations of misery in the Americas. Once again, the Catholic Church involvement was instrumental in extending the enslavement of Africans from Europe to America. Also, the Christians in the Christianity religion had a very huge part in slavery. When you look at Roots is a very powerful move because it's telling you how they're beating their culture out of the people and putting Christianity into the people. See, the slave was forced to take on the Christianity religion from the Europeans. Okay, it says in the 16th century, a Spanish slave merchant called Juan argued that Native Americans were barbarians and therefore they must be taken as slaves. However, the Catholic missionaries that had gone to settle among the Native Americans did not agree that the pagans that they were trying to Christianize should be taken as slaves. See, they even called the indigenous people of America barbarians and pagans because they didn't believe what the Europeans believed. And see, you're demonized even to this day if you do not believe what the dominant culture wants you to believe. So a Catholic Dominion called, I don't know, I'm not finna try to, but Bartholomew, I just say that Bartholomew argued powerfully that Native Americans were humans who must be evangelized and treated as freemen. The Catholic Church agreed. So in the papal bull in 1537, the church proclaimed that the Native American could receive the Catholic faith and sacraments. This is the evidence of how powerful the church was in the historical events of the plunder and enslavement of human beings in foreign lands. What I'm also saying in this too is the Christian church, the Christian church and the Catholic church also was part of enslaving our own people, and they forced them to become Christians, European Christians. That is something we got to deal with, because the Bible comes from Africa. That's on the black continent. So, Father, as we come here today, we thank you, we bless you, we praise you, we give you all the honor and the glory. Father, we thank you for everything you have done, what you continue to do. Father, we thank you for continuing to take the fish scales off our eyes. Father, we thank you for letting us see today the way you want us to see, hear the way you want us to hear, speak the way you want us to speak. Father, we pray that you give us the wisdom and the understanding of your word. But Father, let us be able to understand that once we come together with your word and do your will, you will be with us and lead us and guide us and cover us. Father, let us understand that you are with us always, because you said that the Spirit is in us. Your Spirit is in us. So the only thing we got to do is do your will, and it shall be done. That's why you say we can speak to mountains. We can feed 5,000 people. We can feed 3,000 people. We can heal people once we become one with your word. We can free our people from this enslavement. But Father, let us understand that we got to stop wanting to hear lies and not the truth. Even though the truth is difficult, even though the truth could be like a horse pill, but let us be able to eat that horse pill so that we can deal with it, so that our communities can be revitalized, so that our people can be restored, so that the people can wake up out of their sleep and their slumber. I will help us to be restored to the way you want us to be. Lead us and guide us in the ways that you want us to be. Direct our footsteps. Protect us as we travel the highways and byways. Let us be aware of danger. Let us be aware of our circumstances. I will heal our minds, our spirit, and our soul. And all these things we pray in your higher name. So let it be. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Y'all have a blessed one.
Yeah. Hear me out. Black man, black woman, know that you are heaven sent. God blessed you with melanin. That's quite an embellishment. Every time I look at you, I see excellence. Praise the higher for being such a perfectionist. You've been told your whole life that you were ugly, huh? By the ugly ones, they just jealous, pissed cause they ain't got your genetics. They spend thousands to have your features and they still look pathetic. Damn. In every black neighborhood, there's a liquor store. I wonder who put them there and what they did it for. They know that alcohol is detrimental to your body. Once consumed, it destroys your mental. They want for you to indulge in these substances, and by they, I'm referring to your government. Now we take the word government and you will find that government means control and it means the mind. They want us to operate in our lowest nature. They were successful, but God sent me to elevate you. I just want us to get back to what we used to be. Kings and queens, know that you are royalty. You claim to be African, you claim to be Indian. None of that really matters, cause all of us are indigenous. Know your worth. You the salt of the earth, but somewhere in time we lost our flavor. Disconnected from nature and all the aspects of it. It's been demonized, and we've been programmed to believe it. I broke away from religion, and I'm so glad that I did it, cause shortly after that's when I started to realize that this God we've been seeking out the whole time is dwelling deep on the inside of each and every one of our temples. I meant bodies. You no longer need to see the truth because I just dropped it. Real talk. Now this is where I step away. Take a break, find a quiet place to meditate. Relax my flesh as my mind begins to elevate. Raising my consciousness to a higher state. Creating true equilibrium. Synchronizing the two left and right hemispheres of my encephalon. The work is done. I'm illuminated. Now carry on.
Look, a female dog for the black woman I'll never utter. Butter pecan brown smelling like cocoa butter. When you nappy, I'm happy. I see a flawless cover. Glory on your head, your hair rise high to the Lord above us. Stay kinky, I love you blacker than Danny Glover. No cap and caramel and every other color. Everything noir, everything murder. Everything you touch is golden. Wherever you are, that's why they emulate your stilo. Emulate the lingo. Imitate your body and courage, but let them be though.